Ooh. It's cold, it's wet, and it's dark in the evenings. Where are we going to get the motivation to go out paddleboarding through winter? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you some top tips and ideas to keep you paddling, SUP touring all winter long. Definitely looking at some of the gear you're going to be paddling with, where you should be going as well. You are going to be able to have some great paddling throughout even the coldest of winters. What sort of gear could you paddle with to make your paddling easier, safer, and way more enjoyable in the winter? Now, the biggest one that we have found is paddling and using dry suits or dry separates, so separate dry trousers and a dry top. Now, this has been an absolute game changer for us at SUPboarder. A dry suit, yes, they do cost £500 to £600 for a good quality dry suit, or a SUP suit. They are well worth that money to get you out on the water throughout even the coldest of winter months. If you haven't got inbuilt socks, or you're not paddling with a dry suit or dry trousers with inbuilt socks, good quality wetsuit boots. Look at separate dry waterproof socks, or even some sort of thin based full rubber boot that won't hinder you when you're paddling as well. Could be a good thing to look at. Now, when it comes to other clothing, there are so many more layering options available now. And if you're again wearing a dry suit or a good quality rain jacket, you can put some really good base layers on you to keep you so much warmer and drier. Companies like Palm, Rooster, NRS, they've got some great base layers that work really well. And then you can layer up from that to give you the right amount of warmth, breathability, and obviously weatherproofness on top of that as well. Another great way to motivate yourself to get out and paddle during the winter is getting some new gear. Boards, of course, always exciting to get on the water with new boards, but for many of you, because you might be wanting to change down in size, you might not want to risk getting in the water that much. So maybe keeping your smaller board choices maybe for maybe the warmer months, but paddles, that is a great time of year to get into a new paddle. If you're moving from aluminium to a carbon paddle, you will notice a difference, even if you're paddling around in circles and not even putting that much effort in middle of the winter. And a paddle is a great accessory to upgrade into during those colder winter months. So what boards should we be looking at for paddling or SUP touring in winter months? So you're going to be looking for a board that's very stable and easy to use. Maybe you want to look at a thicker base board as well, because you paddle a little bit higher out of the water, but obviously there will be a negative to that if you're paddling in windier conditions. Whether you go for an inflatable or composite hardboard is up to you, but I personally would pick an inflatable all day long in the winter for the main reason of I haven't got to worry about that board. I can get in the water, I can put the board down on the rocks, I can stand on the board to get onto the water, I can drag the board up to get out of the water. I'm really more worried about myself and getting in and on the water dry than I am worried about the board. And with an inflatable, you can really do that. So when it comes to paddling, whether it be day paddling, touring paddling, what sort of paddling should you be doing? Where should you be looking to go paddling in the winter months? You probably will not be able to pick a multi-day trip to go in the winter because the weather will be changing that much more. So instead of trying to do a 2-3 day trip, do a 1 day trip, a 1 day and a night and a morning trip. Shorten those trips down in general. Really start to understand weather forecasts. There's loads of other features on SUPboarder about weather forecasting. Understand where is best to paddle. Don't paddle where you want to paddle, paddle where the weather allows you to paddle. There is so many estuaries, lakes, canals, rivers, even on the coast if the conditions allow. There's so many spots out there that you can paddle. Also with weather, think about how you can make your paddle journey as easy as possible. So maybe do downwind down the canal, down tide, going one-way trips, allow somebody to pick you up at the other end. Use that weather to your advantage. Personally, I would say stay away from camping, make it a bit more enjoyable. Stay at a bed and breakfast, stay at an Airbnb, stay at a hotel, take your ice up. So there's some tips and ideas to get you paddling through the winter months. Check out this full video on SUPboarder Pro.